Oh boy. Where does most of your current revenue come from? That's very critical. Where does most of your current revenue come from? Right? So this helps you to see, right, whether you are at the acquisition level or you are you know okay, I missed that. So whether you are at the acquisition level, the core level, the expansion level, or retention level, right now, where does most of your acquisition come from? Where does most of your acquisition come from? This is very, very critical. It's very, very critical. Where does most of your current revenue come from? Right? Then the second one is your revenue primarily transactional or recurring? Is it primarily transactional or recurring? So when you talk about where your most revenue come from, you're asking yourself, are they new customers? Do you keep having new customers or you have repeat customers? Or you have one-off purchases? There are some items people just buy one-off and they don't come back, right? If you build your model around one-off purchases, your cost of acquisition is going to be very high. If you build your model around one-off purchases, that somebody just buys a product and they may not need another product that they can buy from you. There's no other service they can enjoy from you, and there's no way to retain them in your ecosystem. What happens then? Wow. What happens then is that your cost of acquisition is going to be very high. It's very high. So where does most of your current revenue come from? Very critical. So this will help you to know whether you are stable or not. The number two, is your revenue primarily transactional or recurring? Is it primarily transactional or recurring? So when it is transactional, it means it is unpredictable. Then it has to depend on recurring sales. And it means that it is also defined by the market. So it's the market at the time whether people will buy from you or not. So think about it. Whenever there is inflation, the first thing people do to stabilize is to look for alternatives. So are people going to be choosing you or choosing the alternatives? And guess what? There are some products that sell more even in times of inflation. One of them is alcohol, because a lot of people are running crazy. They need something to help them get off the worry frequency. So they go all out for alcohol, right? So, but that's a conversation for another day, right? But when your revenue is recurring, that means it is predictable, it is stable, and it is compounding. The whole essence of doing business is to have compounding revenue from one person. For everyone who enters into your business ecosystem, who enters into your business line, then the question you want to ask is, how do I retain them? How do I make them to keep coming? To keep coming. So when you have recurring revenue, then that means that your business has a higher chance of scaling, because you cannot scale what is not stable. You cannot scale what is not stable. If you scale what is not stable, you will scale chaos. You cannot scale what is not stable. If you try to scale what is not stable, what you are scaling indirectly is chaos. You are scaling your chaos. So it's very critical. You pay attention to that. You pay attention to that, right? So the third question, what is your customer lifetime value? I said we're coming back here the other time, right? So think about it, right? So it's said that your customer lifetime value is the average purchase value times number of purchases per year times average customer lifespan. Average purchase value times number of purchases per year times average customer lifespan. That is your LTV, your lifetime value, the lifetime value of your customer. So what it means is what, how much is what they are buying? How many times do they buy? And for how long are they buying? So let me give you an example. I told you about my fiber internet I use in my house, about 20,000 naira monthly. So 20,000 naira monthly times times 12 times a year, because it's monthly, that means it's 12 times a year, times 12. What's 20 times 12? That's 360, well, 20,000 times 12, right? So that's um, times 12, 20,000, 2 times 12. That's 240,000. Am I correct? Right? That's 240,000. So 240,000 for over the space of 4 years. And that's only one customer, 240,000 over the space of 4 years. So 24, 24, that's 48, that's 960,000. So that means that roughly this company has made 960,000 naira from me over the last 4 years. Now think about it. Let's assume they have a thousand, they have 1,000 customers that have been loyal to them like that for the past 4 years. So what is 960,000 times 1,000? Can somebody do the math? 960,000 times 1,000. That's how many billion, right? That's 960,000 thousand, right? Oh, that's 960 million actually, right? 960,000 thousand, right? So that's 960 million. So from 1,000 customers, this company has made 960 million naira from 1,000 customers who have been with them for the past 4 years. Now, think about it. If they run this thing for 10 years, what does that tell you? For 4 years, they make 960,000 naira. That's almost, not 960 million, right? That's almost a billion, right? So this is what we are talking about, right? This is what we're talking about. So that ability to hold a customer for 4 years, for 5 years, for 10 years, right? That is, your customer lifetime value. So if your LTV is low, that means that your growth will be expensive because you have to keep selling. You have to keep spending money on marketing. I didn't have any reason to change them because these guys are good. Like, the other time, one of my friends moved into the neighborhood and was asking me what time do I use in my house. And then I said, well, from what I know, all the service providers in our country have downtimes. But how do they manage their downtimes and what do they do? Like the network I use, when they have issues with their with their servers, and there's prolonged downtime, they give you back the days. So you don't have to pay for them. So if there is downtime for 3 days, they just extend your current subscription by another 3 days. You understand what I mean? So why will I want to go away? So that's the thing. So how do you ensure that your customers are not going away? So if your LTV is low, then that means that you are spending a lot of money on acquiring new customers. But if your LTV is high, what does that tell you? Then it gives you capacity for aggressive selling because you have a lot of people who can become your brand ambassadors. And that capacity to then leverage on that network that you have is what gives you the strength, to keep going, right? I hope somebody has been learning something. Right. It's been an awesome time here at the Growth Factory. We have been looking at your revenue architecture, right? How to design your flow, your income flow. Very critical. I'm so sorry I didn't record this session from the beginning, right? So you're going to take it like that, and maybe you just have to be at the at the workshop coming up in May. This tentative May 1 tentative will be sending out the robust information in the days to come. So you want to be a part of the growth factory so that you don't miss out this important information coming, right? So so sorry I didn't start from the beginning, but you're going to make it up. Trust me, you're going to make it up. So let's quickly look at your revenue engine design. So we've talked about quite a number of things, what this revenue engine is about, and now diagnosing where your business is right now. What are you doing? How are you bringing in people? Very critical, right? So let's run through how can you even design your revenue engine to ensure that you have this, this structure in place. 4 steps helps us to summarize this entire thing. The first one is to define your entry offer. No matter the business you do, you can have an entry offer. For some people, let's assume you are into manufacturing, right? You can give discounts for first buyers. For example, you say maybe if somebody buys a particular quantity, then you give them this particular amount of discount as their first buyer, the first time they encounter you. That is an entry offer. If you do services, you can say the first 7 days for free, right? That is offer, right? So you need to be able to define how this thing will work in your industry. How will it work in your industry, right? Very critical. If you sell properties, right, you can say, so sometimes people sell land and they say, if you buy 5 plots, you get 1 plot free. That's what we're talking about. You get 1 plot free. Or if you bring somebody to buy, then you get a certain percentage. So there is always something, an incentive that you are selling to people to help them see that this thing is working, right? It's an entry offer, very critical. So what are the questions you must always answer as a founder if you are trying to define your entry offer? The first one is, what is the easiest way for a new customer to start? As a business person, you must always be thinking of how to make that business easy for your customers. Easy. Once there is complexity, you are going to lose them. Once there is any iota of complexity, you're going to lose the customers. So define your entry offer. So what is the easiest way for a new customer to start? Is the price psychologically accessible? When they think of it psychologically, does it make sense? Like I was saying the other time, some people want to make their first billion from the first sale. It is greed. It doesn't work like that. You need to work on the psychology of your client and prep them, to the point where they feel easy and comfortable about doing business with you. That's very, very important in the whole of this mix. That's very, very critical, right? So is the price psychologically accessible? And does it deliver quick value? Your entry offer should be something they can use immediately, apply it, and boom, they can see immediate result. It is solving an immediate problem for them, and they can see what this thing is doing for us. So immediately they see result, they see transformation, they want to come back. So there's an immediate result. So the whole idea about the entry offer is that there must be no friction. It must read the friction of entering and the friction of getting results must be eliminated as much as possible. As much as possible. So let's look at the second one. Define your core revenue engine. Define your core revenue engine. So as a founder, as a business person, you must identify the product that solves the primary problem. Remember, we talked about the core, that the core is actually where you are going. So, what is the primary problem that your business is trying to solve? Then the core should be around that. So, the product that solves the primary problem, the product customers use most. So, it must also be the one customers use most. So, if it looks like what you think is your core is not what is the core, then you might need to redesign your business model such that if this is what is selling, why is it selling? Then you pay attention to it. You pay attention to it. You don't have to. Like I was having a conversation with some entrepreneurs yesterday, and one of the things, we talk from business to politics, and one of the things that I was able to take out of that conversation is that in life, if you're really an investor, there are no permanent interests. You cannot say, oh, because I am in this field, then I must stay there even when the the policies in your country no longer favor that particular discipline or that particular field. You say, oh, I'm passionate about it, I must stay there. Uncle, withdraw your money and move to somewhere where your money would give you value. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There are no permanent interests. What you want is profit. So if there's a field that is facing a lot of government opposition and is becoming difficult to make money, remove your money there and move it to something else. You're an investor. You're an investor. So there are no permanent interests. Think about it, right? So your core revenue is the product that delivers the highest long-term value. It delivers the highest long-term value. Your entry offer is usually short-term and very fast, but your core revenue delivers a long-term value, and then it becomes the economic engine of your company. Very critical, very critical. I hope somebody is getting something tonight. So let's look at the third one. Design your expansion opportunities. Design your expansion opportunities, right? So what additional value can customers unlock now that they are with you? What other things can you do to to add to what you are already doing that the customers will need? What other things can you add to it that they will definitely need? So think about it. What premium features or services can you create or already exist? What are the other services, premium services? Can you take it a bit higher? Can you increase your offering a bit higher? What are you trying to do? You are trying to help them see that there is more that you are offering than what you are already offering. So are there advanced versions that they can take? So you see in the education sector, for example, for professional courses, you see something like basic, you see advanced, then you hear professional, right? Or you hear executive. Why are people doing that? It's different layers. Basic, advanced, professional, executive, right? It's all, getting people to understand that there are different layers. There is executive MBA, there is regular MBA, and there is Masters of Science in Business Administration. You are not paying the same thing for each of those courses. The MBA is more expensive than the Master of Science in Business Administration, right? So even though it's still the business administration, one is a professional, one is academical, it's cheaper, right? So it is still all different layers. So think about it. How can you create different layers for your business? As you're doing that, you are creating depth in your revenue. You are creating depth. That's what it means, right? So then the last one is for you to create your retention system. Create your retention system. It can be through subscription structure, renewal cycles, membership models, long-term engagement. You see what software developers do. There's always a newer version, right? Every year, Microsoft comes up with different editions. Why do you think Microsoft is doing that? because they want people to buy again. So there's Microsoft 10, Microsoft 11, Microsoft 12, Microsoft 13, 14. So you keep coming back. You keep coming back, right? So that's the old idea, is to ensure retention. Is to ensure retention. You come up with new features, new ideas, new systems. The same thing with iPhones, and all of that. Every year there's something new. What are they doing? They are trying to retain their customer base. And this is how we compound. This is how we scale. This is how we grow. I want to believe that somebody has got something from the conversation tonight. So I'm going to stop there. I want to stop there. Right. So I'm going to stop there tonight. So we'll continue the conversation at the workshop in May. Trust me, it's going to be a really, really, um, it's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great one. You don't want to miss it. Trust me. If you are serious about building a model that lasts, right? Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. If you're starting a business or you're building something, you can even come as a group so that the conversation is shared and everybody knows that this is shared knowledge, and we can then live together with a plan, a blueprint of something we're working with, and then everybody knows we are on the same page. This is very critical, right? So I don't know if somebody wants to share a thought tonight. What is one key critical take home for you tonight? What are you taking away from the conversation tonight? I would really, really love to hear from you. If we have one or two contributions tonight, what's a key takeaway from our conversation tonight, right? Anybody wants to share their thoughts? Right. Anyone wants to share tonight? What's a key takeaway from building your revenue model, your revenue architecture? What's a key takeaway from you? All right, so while I wait for that, I like to say I have a free book for you on Seller, right? Seller.com, the number 835053, seller.com/835053. So have you found yourself in a situation where it looks like you're not going to come out of it, like everything is working against you, and then you've lost control, you've lost touch? So how do you thrive in the midst of uncertainty? Very practical. If you know me, I always create solutions. I don't. So this is a free book anyway. So go to seller.com and download the Thriving in Uncertainty, right? Leading through uncertainty. So please get the book, get for your friend, get for your enemy, right? Download, share, I encourage them to also download this. I share the link with them. Seller.com/835053. That's the place to download, right? And if you find yourself as somebody who wants to earn some money as a relationship coach, I created a product a few not too long ago, and this is a very, very powerful resource that will help you to grow in your coaching business, right? Seller.com/UA56M 55071, UA56M 55071. So download it also on Seller. You can screenshot this, just put the link in your put the link in that in your web, and then it takes you straight to it. So you can also get that, right? And if you're somebody who doesn't like the third parties coming into your conversations, you want to create a robust marriage, you want your marriage to last, you want your marriage to stand the test of time, right? And you want to have some fun moments. It's a whole lot. This book, I can guarantee you that if you keep talking, if you keep taking lessons or cues from this book, you cannot exhaust it in 2 3 years. You will keep coming back and keep coming back, because the tools that are here are massive. They are massive. It took me months to be able to put this thing together. It took me a lot of months to put it together. And I tell you that it's going to be a massive experience for you. Right. So also please remember subscribe on YouTube, Boardroom NG, YouTube at Boardroom NG, and follow us on all socials on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, Boardroom NG. On Instagram is boardroom.com.ng. Somebody already took Boardroom NG on Instagram, so we use boardroom.com.ng, which is also the website, boardroom.com.ng. That's the website. So we'll be getting more information about our socials in the days to come. I'll say big thank you to everyone for joining the call tonight, and we'll see you at the next episode. All right, have a great day and see you. Bye for now. I love you, and I believe